back to recording. Okay. So this was Unit 2, Part B. It's the last part. It is a 7-segment display. So there are 7 parts to this: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. I always say it looks like a scoreboard, lighting up a number in a scoreboard. And each one there's a truth table for each one. And I just sort of combined all the truth tables. There's a truth table for the A segment, which is the top. There's a truth table for the B segment. I don't write out all the possibilities because I'm only putting in numbers. So there are only 10 numbers. I'm not going to display I don't have geeks in my audience. So I'm not going to display my score in hex. I'm going to display my score in decimal. So there are only 10 possible inputs. So I just have 10 rows. Okay, so but here's my 10 possible inputs. And then I really have, this is really 7 different truth tables. But I just sort of smushed them all together because it's the same possibilities, the same inputs for all of them. So here I picked out, I wanted to display a 4 because that's what I have up here in the picture. And segment A for the 4 is not lit. So segment A is not lit in a 4. E and D are not lit and everything else is lit. So here's A and D and E are 0, they're not lit, and everything else is lit. That's the scenario. That's what we're doing here. We're doing 7 truth tables smushed into one. You want me to do another row or another segment? I want to make sure you understand. If you want me to do another row of input, another number that I'm going to display, or do you want me to do one segment and show all the possibilities for that segment?
So would 8 be all ones?
8 would be all ones because everything's lit up. So you made the choice for me. So this is all ones. Where did I didn't enable editing, so I can't do shit. Okay. So 8 is all ones because everything's lit up. All the segments are lit up in an 8. The weird one, and for now you just make up your mind and you do what you want, is the 6. Does the 6 have a hat? Does the 6 not have a hat? Your choice. It's not always your choice. If we go to hex, it's not your choice because we have to make a distinction between a B and an 8 and a 6, and then the hat will be important. But if we're only representing decimal numbers, decimal digits, then it doesn't matter, and it's your choice. And then I say I want an expression for A. And you can do sum of products, or you can do product of sums, whichever one you like. Here's me in the recording, sort of saying, do you know what I'm talking about? Could you fill this one?
Yeah.
Could I do, I'll do C, because you have to do A. So we've done 2 numbers. Here's a 4. When I'm lighting up a 4, A and E and D don't light up, so that's where my zeros are. And as he said, if I'm showing you an 8, everything's lit up, so there it is. But let's look at C. Is C lit up if I'm displaying a 0? Yes. Is C lit up if I'm showing you a 1? Yes, it depends which side I'm going to put the 1 on, but I think I'm going to put it over there on the right. So yes. Is C lit up for a 2?
No.
No. Is C lit up for a 3?
Yeah.
Yes. The 4 was lit up, we already done. Is it lit up for a 5?
Yeah.
Yes. For the 6?
Yes.
Yes, for the 7.
Yeah,
Yes, for the 9.
yeah.
Yes. So then, if I were doing C, you're not doing C, you're doing A. But if I were doing C, now I make my choice. Do I want to do sum of products or product of sums? Do I want to focus on the ones or do I want to focus on the zeros?
Well, you have a lot of ones and only zero.
Yes.
I want zero.
So you want to focus on the 0. That would be, you can, it's logically equivalent. You can do the other way, but it's perfectly fine. But if I had asked you to do C, which I haven't, if I asked you to do C and you're focusing on the 0, there's the 1 and only 0. That's not what I want. That's what I want. Make it. Okay. So if this is all ones and 1 0, and I have to focus on that 0, and then I'm taking that product of sums approach. So I have an OR gate, and I want everything that goes into an OR gate to be a 0. So the W is already a 0. The X is already a 0. The Y is the one I have to do something to. I have to prime it, and the Z was a 0. So if I were asked you about C, it would be W plus X plus Y prime plus Z. And you would be done. Yours is going to be slightly harder because it was A and it's not quite that easy. It's not much harder, but it's a little bit harder. And I didn't know that when I chose C. I just chose something that wasn't. I just happened to work out. The gods were in favor of me today. If that one has no, I didn't ask you to build anything. I don't think I didn't ask you to build it. No. So that one's just pure logic. So let's make like that one do. So that's just logic, and you can Zoom with me, and you don't need access to multi-sim. So if you're not around, that's okay. So we'll make B do, and C is probably circuit stuff. So we'll make one part do. If you do all the parts, that's fine. Some people gave me, even though I didn't make it due tonight, some people have already handed me parts of the lab. So if it's done, this is resistors and your building circuits with resistors. So we'll make B do next week, but the other 2 you'll have like longer to do. And that will start to get us caught up. Here is the other thing that people don't understand. Here is there in this color code, there are 3 numbers. So green, blue, and orange. Green is a 5, blue is a 6, and orange is a 3. And the first 2 numbers, you just put them next to each other. The first 2 numbers are concatenation. So you see the green and the blue, it's 5, 6, it's 56.
Oh, okay.
It's concatenation. Back in my intro programming class, I didn't declare them as numbers. I just put them next to each other and they just concatenate. The third number is a power of 10. We're kind of doing a scientific notation thing. Because it was orange, it's 10 to the 3, which is 1,000, which is kilo. So this would be 56 kiloohms. If it were blue, green, red, it would be 5, 6 times 10 to the 2. If it were, didn't even download it.
Wait, when blue, green, red be 65?
Oh, yeah, I said blue, good. I did say blue, green, red. Okay. So let's need to edit. You have all this, but I'm just doing my example. So if it were blue, green, red, Then the blue is a 6, and it's a 5, and it's a 3. That's just from, or a 2 from the colors, but it's 65. I'll just do this for times 10. I'll just do this for raised to the 2, and that's ohms. So you could say 6500 ohms, and that's correct. If you want to put it in kilo ohms, you owe me, you get rid of 3 places. So when you, so the kilo ohms is 1,000, so you would say it was 6.5. You would move the dot 3 places.
And then put the K.
And then put the kilo.
You leave it in scientific notation, are you fine?
These are all correct. Now, are you going to find something that looks like that if you have to build it? You do. Then are you going to find this in electronic workbench in multisim? No. Are you going to find this? You could do that in multisim if you opened it up and you had a resistor. Get me a resistor. Here's a resistor. Let me just get a resistor and let me change its properties. Then I could do 6500. That would be legit. I don't think it's going to allow me to write 10 times 10 to the 2 in here, but it will allow me to write the 6500. Or I could write the 6.5K. Both of those it will allow. If I just ask you for the answer for the resistance, these are all acceptable answers. But then I ask you to use those resistances that you found in the first part in circuits, then you're going to need to have the version that you can get out of multisim. And these second 2 of the 3, the second and the third, are ones you can get out of multisim. And do I have a preferred one? Well, I probably prefer the kilo, but am I going to mark anything, something that's right, wrong? No, I'm not. I don't want to hear about it in the evaluations at the end. You marked that thing that was a right, wrong. Any other, so, but that one involves some circuitry, so I'm going to leave the 2 parts. I'll have to make an announcement. But so lab 1, all parts due next week, and the middle part of lab 2, since it involves no circuitry, you should be able to do it. If you're having any struggles with it, see me. That can be electronically, that can be in person, and then and also have your questions ready for next week on lab 2, and then we'll do 3. I'm hanging out if you want to work or have questions. If you need to look at something individually, I'm here. If you want to work, I'm here. If you're tired and just want to go away, you can go away.
Thank you.
I'll still record you got it. Stop recording.